My brother Daniel's actually behind the camera right now, and this is Rolls in the Family. And it is a brisk 15 degrees out today in Denver, Colorado. And we are planning on staying indoors, getting some good board gaming in today. But first, we are here to talk through my board game collection because there are at least, I think, 2 people on the internet that have expressed interest in this.
And I'm one of them.
Yeah, Daniel's one of them. So we figure while we're here together at the house, let's just record a quick casual. It's a little more casual than maybe some of our other videos.
That's right.
But I'm just gonna talk through kind of how I store my games. Just random commentary here. This is very unscripted. So we'll see how it goes here. But let's turn over here where we have the kids game shelves, which have slowly and steadily filled up. You will notice a nice mesh cover.
That's my first question.
Get to it. Well, this was necessary when my youngest was getting a little older, and he, way more than my older son, would just go and get games and get them out and take out all the pieces, and so it was getting rather annoying. So we did this, random, bought some netting and some clips.
Yeah,
you'll notice here if I unclip these.
Look at that.
Look at this. Then you can access the games. I'll actually leave links in the description.
Yeah, I was going to say, link that thing below.
Description to some of these products that I purchased if you want to try to make this kind of janky thing, for yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe we got parents out
I want
there.
to link to that moose right there. That's what I want to link to.
Yeah, this guy. We still got Christmas decorations up.
Love it.
He's looking a little bit too much eggnog, I think.
You got a good collection of kids games there, Ryan.
We do. If you look on our channel at any of the top kids games videos we've done, you'll see
you don't mess around.
them largely represented here.
Oh, look at that. Very
I won't talk through all of them, but we've got everything from the 2-year-old start out ones all the way to now my oldest is playing some more. We just got Catan Jr. for Christmas, so I've played that once. But yeah, so that's kind of kids' games section. Yeah. It is getting a little full, but my oldest son, is also getting to the point where he is playing some of my games and is kind of getting more on the fringe. So we'll see how much that continues to fill.
Very nice.
Most of my games are going to be in one collection here. I do have one cube across that we're not going to walk over to that has just some 2-player games because I needed to make some space. So I moved. Let's see, what do we got over there? We got Yinch, Santorini, and Fox in the Forest, Lost Cities, Morels, Cribbage.
Oh!
That's all over in the 2-player. And then the other kind of different section of the collection here is this wall that we did not unclutter at all.
Oh!
So hopefully there's nothing that should be in the video here. We got the crokinole board on the wall. It's really nice. It's hung on the wall. We thought it looked so nice that why not just pile kids crap in front of it.
That's right. I love how you're staging it right
there.
That's
what I decided.
That's good.
And then we have random stuff up here. A lot of it is not gaming related. I've got some board game bags.
There you go.
But namely Clask and Pitchcar ended up there. I guess Corkle did too.
So kind of your dexterity game section?
Yeah, that was kind of the idea. There's some random things. Tasty Humans,
wow.
So I don't know why that's up there.
Yeah, that's a good dexterity game.
I think that unmatched box is just completely empty. I need to just get rid of it. The Dixit one is just overflow of our Dixit cards because we have a bunch of Dixit cards. So I need to figure out how I'm going to store those.
Yeah.
Which is a great segue, honestly, back into the main shelf.
Look at.
So here's the main shelf.
It's good to have you standing next to it to have a good for reference.
It's for scale, despite them never having seen me.
What you don't know is Ryan is 7'4".
Yeah, I am very tall. And so this is kind of the current temporary holding of the main part of the games. We actually currently rent our basement to some friends of ours. In the long run, board games will probably end up in the basement. So we got to kind of make do with this space for now.
That's right.
But we got the the IKEA stack here.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. You've got it's a
4x4,
4x4 with the
and then why not stack things on top of that?
There you go. Love it.
But we're going to start at the bottom and just talk through this shelf.
Let's do it.
So down here at the bottom, the lower you are, the lighter the games. They get more complex as we go up. That's how I like to organize I like to organize my games so that if I'm going to look for a game, for a situation, I'm seeing them in the similar place. I'm not going to look all over the place. I've seen people oh, we color-coded our shelf. And I'm like, that would drive me bananas because there's no, pattern of when you pull those games out. So, we've got party games down here. If I'm looking for party games.
Yep.
A lot of these are classics. It's been in the collection. We got the Dixit-likes, like Dixit, Stella, Mysterium, all kind of use those Dixit-like cards. We actually have Muse, which I don't really like as much as the other ones and don't play, but we've kept it because it has cards kind of like Dixit. And if ever, I tell you, if you're somewhere out there, Gamegenic that makes card sleeves, if you can make Dixit-sized sleeves with opaque backs,
there you go.
I will purchase like 500 of them because if we had that, we could mix and match across all those games. Because you would need the backs to be opaque so you can't tell the difference.
Right.
But basically, Muse could become an expansion to all those games.
Right.
My wife is a huge fan of the Dixit-style games. I enjoy them as well. Deception Murder in Hong Kong is a good kind of social deduction one, and we got Concept here.
Okay, that's
Can't really tell from the awards.
A little more
side.
group party kind of thing.
Yep, and then we head into more party games. You got Time's Up, absolute classic. Telestrations.
Oh, gotta show the Telestrations box.
I didn't like how big the party pack was, so
when I first saw this I was like,
well done. I have to say.
I don't know why they didn't make it.
I cut it and taped it. Because if I ever had to bring it somewhere, I didn't want to bring this giant thing. So
oh, I love that.
I'd say pretty good work.
That is good.
Jam that back in there. Camel Up is one, or is it Camel Cup? Up to you to decide.
Comment down below.
And then a bunch of ones that have been big, heavy hitters in the collection for a while from a party game perspective.
Okay.
We still stay on the party game train. You gotta have lots of good party games.
That's right.
Green Team Wins has been a nice, new, very easy one. Let's see, Wavelength. My wife likes using cues. It's probably my least favorite party game, if I'm being honest, but she loves it as she's really into color as an artist and all that. Smug Owls is a funny one. We've had a lot of funny times with Ransom Notes.
Yeah, that's been
recently got Blob Party for Christmas. We played that a couple times with the family. Had a good time.
Yeah.
Strike is a little bit out of place here. Ooh. It's it's like a borderline party feeling game. But it's a dexterity game. Throwing some dice takes like 5 minutes to play. It fit there, and that's going to be a theme as we go up the shelf. As I try to organize logically,
a few out of place,
but I'm running out of room. So there's points where it's like this is just where this fits.
Right.
So I have to put it. Where
okay,
it fits.
Very nice.
Speaking of things that fit,
that fits.
Foundations of Rome.
Oh.
That fits in that spot and leaves enough room for something very skinny. I think there's been points where, in fact, maybe we move the Heat Heavy Rain expansion.
Okay, well, I was about to criticize that.
That seems pretty nice.
Ryan,
that seems good for now. This is also a new edition. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that because I need the box for the extra board. But
they should have just made Foundations of Rome just the full Calyx cube set.
Yeah, so you couldn't get your fingers in and can't even get it out.
And that's why they didn't do that.
Yes. So that one kind of gets its own. It's down in the corner to really anchor down the whole.
Yes, that's structural support.
Yeah, don't take it out. So let's move on up here. And so Foundations of Rome kind of transitions us into kind of what I would say welcoming gateway games or kind of light strategy games at this point. So we got Sushi Go's great in that category. We're big fans of Quacks at Quedlinburg. Yeah. Trekking Through History I've been pleasantly surprised with, and actually have played it with my son a little bit. He likes that one. Yeah. It's a nice little accessible game. Ticket to Ride, absolute classic. Gotta have it. This is kind of a mismatch of kind of fitting into this one. Recently got Challengers, which there's specific situations where it's a very good game to do this big light warlike tournament. Cascadia, Seven Wonders Architects. Ticket to Ride would love to have closer. It's the way it fits.
Come on.
It's the way it fits.
What's going on here?
Just got Far Away for Christmas, and we played it once.
Very fun.
I had a good first experience with that. Spots is a fun little push your luck game. And then I got Canvas and the expansion to Canvas, which honestly, these should be.
This is also a rearranging video.
Yeah, these can be hung on the wall, and they look like canvases.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, like they got a little.
That's actually sweet.
And so I should do that. I don't have like a great spot for it unless I took off these puzzle mosaics that my wife and I made on the wall. That Daniel's not panning to, so...
sorry, I got distracted.
Yes. Which we like these. We built those out of a bunch of thrift store puzzles that we sorted the colors and we glued them together. It's very tedious and took a lot of work, but that's currently where those are. But you could imagine a world where we hang these and save some shelf space.
Right.
But moving on, we've got kind of some things that just fit here. Ready, Set, Bet kind of is more party game, but, it's kind of maybe in between. Rampage is kind of in a category of its own. It's like a dexterity game where you're actually knocking over buildings with monsters and stuff.
Right.
And then the giant behemoth that is the Dungeon Fighter Collector's Edition. So kind of a dexterity.
Yeah, I see what you got going on there. I give it a 7.
This was like the extras shelf that things ended up like. So this had like the least thought put into it.
Okay.
But I've got some puzzling stuff here. Dorfromantic, My City, Junk Drawer, and Project L kind of are all spatial puzzly.
Right.
And then kind of generally lighter card games, Romy Rami, Biblios.
Never even heard of that.
Yeah, you haven't played it yet. I got that one for my birthday, which is in December, so it was recent.
Very nice.
Golden Ticket game we found at a thrift store is actually a very funny Willy Wonka. You get physical chocolate bars, and at the end, everybody opens them up and sees who gets the golden tickets.
Nice.
My wife likes that one. The Crew Mission Deep Sea. Still haven't played it after replacing the original Crew, but some point I will. Moving up into getting a little bit more complex. Oh, yeah. We've got Last Bastion, the Ghost Stories remake, a fun cooperative game. Escape has been a classic for a long time. It's a quick. I've got maybe a little bit of like a real time. I guess it's like just these two games that like have a little bit of a real time element here. Oh man, I'm gonna talk myself into a cough. Some random stuff. They fit here. We've got Fiction, which is like Wordle, the board game, but with lies. Kites is like a 5-minute game trying to cooperatively play cards and turn over hourglasses to keep them all going. QE is a fascinating game about bid whatever you want to get things, but you don't want to be the one that bids the most. Message from the Stars, I know I'm not going to get to play very often because I have to find people that like deduction games with math and like words and like... Yeah, I'll play with Daniel.
I like most of those.
Maybe we'll play right after this. This, you can tell this is a thematic. We call it the Marvel United, and that's pretty clever. And Scout. Scout's hiding back there.
Yeah, what's the connection between all those games?
It's called games that are Marvel United or that are thin.
Oh,
those are ones that go in this one.
Solid connection.
And you'll actually notice that you may go, wow, that's a lot of Marvel United, and you'd be right. And in fact... there's another box hiding back here.
Sneaky.
The X-Men base set. So, and we actually have a short on the channel showing how I got everything.
We'll link that above.
Gameplay complete from season 1 and 2 into these 4 boxes, which still is a lot, but you should have seen how many boxes they came in.
I know.
But a game I've played a lot and had a lot of fun with.
This whole shelf could be Marvel United if you weren't careful.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta turn off those Kickstarter notifications. Go off the grid.
Okay, Ryan, come on. What is happening with Space Base right here?
Well, it fits there. And then there's some margin
now.
here for some growth. You know, there's something that could fit here. So when I moved my 2-player games, it opened up some space, but I know I've got games coming in the next year that I'm going to need space for. Though I did correct that now Race of the Galaxy, Res Arcana, and Roll for the Galaxy, all the Tom Lehman games are all close by. It used to be Res Arcana used to be out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And those are kind of in a similar space. Other ones here are kind of, a little bit kind of Gateway Plus maybe games with cartographers. Raw is a good one, space-based. And that kind of continues into this cube with all these big ones. Heat's been a great new racing game. We got the expansion that I haven't played with down there. Clank Catacombs is a new one I got for my birthday, so I'm very excited.
Might play it today.
To try that. I did. I had tried to put here. Look how annoying this is. I tried to put this here to put it over Heat. And Clank Catacombs is like a millimeter taller than the rest
Clank.
of them. Well, and that's what I'll probably do, but I got to figure out because it fits weight-wise with like this section.
Gosh.
These are the challenges of getting into modern board gaming.
I know. People don't realize
Guild of Merchant Explorers, we just played last night.
Oh, we did play that. That was very fun.
I'm enjoying that one. You got to be okay with using tiny little pieces.
I like those tiny little pieces.
And it probably is one of the games more at risk of someone like accidentally swiping their board or bumping the table and ruining everything.
Yeah.
So you'll notice on my 4x4 shelf here that I have removed 2 of the things, and that's because there's games like Max vs. Minions that are quite wide and they're too long to go in the other way, which would be my preference because it saves more space, but it would butt up against the wall. So this becomes Mechs vs. Minions and then little things that fit around Mechs vs. Minions.
Yeah.
I at one point got on the bandwagon of these little getting these little photo cases, and there's a whole community Board Game Barrio, I think it's
Can you link it below?
I could probably link it below. Will I remember? We'll see. But there's a whole community that makes these little foldable things that you can print out, and then you just, I got this from Michael's or something. It's
really
like a photo.
That.
And it's cool. In cases like this, Point Salad was in a much bigger box and it condenses it down. There's cases like Push where the box that came in was a piece of trash. It's like a mass market. So in cases like that, I do like it.
And it just looks so nice.
It looks slick. I am still a little torn on it because it makes me, here's what it does. It makes me feel like I need to put them all together, but sometimes they're different, situations. Like, for example, Morels is in one of these, but it's over on my 2-player shelf. Gotcha. But overall, it's a nice thing to do if there's, it's funny with ones like Llama where I literally just have the box in here.
Okay, Ryan.
Okay,
come on, man. Really come on.
But here's the thing: is otherwise, if I would throw this box in a game bag, these boxes like to open and spill.
Oh, okay.
And it won't now because these latch.
So why don't you just throw away the box and?
Well, if I ever sell it or
because Llama, because Llama.
Copy of Llama.
That's in hot demand.
Fantasy Realms is one we haven't gotten to in a while, but. Then I got it's kind of like lighter roll and write dice games. We got King Domino in here. This is actually paperback, if you can't tell from the word deck building game. Tournament Avalon, absolutely bonkers trick taking with powers and stuff. It's actually, according to our sister,
the best
favorite game.
That blew my
mind.
mind.
I get to stand up. It feels nice. So this is the other wide shelf that takes advantage of games that benefit from a wide shelf, such as the absolutely terribly designed Mage Knight Ultimate Edition box that is just too wide for a Calyx and has tons of empty space in it. They're killing me. It's like, the board game manufacturers need to know their audience. You're hitting 70% of people have shelves like these. But great game. Recently finished my campaign of Lord of the Rings Journeys to Middle-earth, so I've got all that stuff in there.
Is that what those boxes?
So this is Overflow for Lord of the Rings the card game, which we're going to see up there. These are only here because they fit nicely in these little gaps.
Yeah.
So that's extra cards there. I think there's extra Keyforge decks, which my other Keyforge stuff is over with the 2-player stuff.
Okay.
But extra Keyforge decks.
Yeah. Okay.
Millennium Blades just got played recently. Ooh. Absolutely, really
one of my
unique
games I
game, and I have a ton of stuff for it. War of the Ring just got played recently after a long time not playing. Best Lord of the Rings tabletop experience you can have. And we just played Slay the Spire.
My gosh.
We finished it last night. We'll talk about that another day. But Slay the Spire, really, really loving this one.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Great implementation. Yeah. Bringing the video game to the board, to the tabletop. Let's go up a shelf.
Yeah.
So now
Do you need the ladder on?
If we're looking up on this shelf, it's because we got a good group that wants to do some chunkier gaming. I would say this is like a thematic cube, if ever there was a thematic cube. We've got Cthulhu, Death May Die, Eldritch Horror, Lovecraft.
Which that has Eldritch. That has all the how many expansions?
I have all of the expansions for Eldritch in these 2 boxes. And then recently got Thunder Road Vendetta, which has been a hit, especially playing it with my son. He loves it.
That game is so much fun.
It is just a blast.
That game is so good.
So we've been really enjoying that one.
Okay.
Moving on to quite a big box, Wonderland's War, actually possibly on the docket for today. We'll see. I've been wanting to get this one played again, but it's a big bag building area control Alice in Wonderland themed game. Really nice components. Dune Imperium is one that's been one of my favorites in this kind of weight. This is kind of like we're in the heavier strategy games, but not as long. Like these are closer to like 2 to 2.5 hours. Yellow Yangtze is a very unique one that I enjoy. Then this just looks nice, doesn't it? Lorenzo. If 2 games were meant to belong together, it is Lorenzo Il Magnifico.
Is that the same publisher? Or
no. It's just the same ethos of game aesthetic, I guess.
Yeah, Cosmic does not.
But absolutely, Cosmic. I'm sorry. That's honestly, because I have the space, Cosmic belongs.
Yeah, Cosmic should be up there.
It should be by Twilight Imperium, but Inish honestly doesn't really fit with either.
And
we can make an argument this should be here.
You intentionally leave spaces in your collection so you can always justify buying more games, right?
Yeah. Well, I know. Like I said, I know some are coming, so I'm gonna need to figure it out when they come. But we'll leave these 2 nice folks together. Great games.
Yeah,
these are some new. Endeavor Deep Sea is is a new one that I have really enjoyed my plays of so far. Obsession I've played a few times. It's a fun one because my wife is very into the theme. So it's actually a heavier game than she would normally enjoy, but she likes it. Now, granted, we're in a season with kids where we just don't have a lot of times to play a 2-hour board game together, so it doesn't seem a lot of play recently, but I'm very happy with it. Brass Birmingham. You need to get to the table sometime. Very good game. And it's nice and slender.
You know what?
I appreciate this. It's not quite slender enough to fit some of these openings I have.
But for that big of a game.
But yeah, that's a heavier game to be nice and slender. Up to the top here, we've got the big Arcs expansion that has the Arcs base game in it. This is, in fact, what we intend to play after filming this video. Not the expansion. We're just playing base game with leaders and lore, but we're going to get to play that, and Daniel hasn't played a legitimate play. Let's just say the 2-player tabletop simulator play that we had was not
like midnight
representative.
Yeah, that was awful.
Through the Ages, long, complex game. Too many bones. One of the more complex games I have as far as rule set and length there. Twilight Struggle is up here mostly because it fits and it still is a longer game. It really, would belong probably more with the 2-player only games.
Right.
Another one I need to get to the table sometime, or Daniel and I need to play online.
Yep.
You've seen this cube because I very recently moved these here. Twilight Imperium's the other one here. I haven't played this. It's been at least one pandemic ago since I've played Twilight Imperium. But I need to just make it happen. It would be fun to get it to the table. And it still fills us something that none of my other games do. This is a beautiful cube. Ooh. Yeah, I tell you. This is the Uwe row, which I did. I realized I could tip it and fit Age of Innovation up there, which is another heavy hitter. So these are some heavy hitting strategy, resource management, crunchy games. We got the Agricola spillover box here that's got some of the 5 to 6 player stuff because this one is packed full because I have all the deck expansions and stuff.
It is.
So there's so many cards in there. But I got this Overflow. If I ever get the new expansion for this, I'll probably kind of overflow it into here. And then we got some other kind of similar weight, heavier strategy games we enjoy. Underwater Cities, Great Western Trail, Ark Nova, Terraforming Mars, all excellent. I mean, those are all top 15.
Yeah.
I think everything here except maybe Hallertau is top 15 games. And Hallertau is top 25 or 30. So that's pretty solid. I'm always brings joy to my heart to be looking up in this section of the. So then way up here, you'll notice we've got some.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom in on these.
We've got some minis up there. That is the things from Marvel United that weren't gonna fit in the 4 boxes. There's 3 giant Sentinel minis, and I was like, you know what? You're not using them most of the time unless you're playing the specific game mode. I'll just put them up on the shelf. It'll look kind of cool.
Yeah, those are cool.
So for the time being, that's where they live. This pains me. This Cthulhu Death May Die expansion, because I would love for it to be closer to here. And you know where I would love to put it? I'd love to put it right here. But it doesn't fit. Again, we're talking millimeters here. So for now, it bookends what is clearly the final girl row. In the long run, I could save some space by double rowing it, putting ones behind and only getting them when I need it. But for now, look, it's a very nice aesthetic on the shelf.
Yeah, right on the top. That looks good.
They got kind of that VHS thing. And I've got season 3 coming here within a month
stay tuned for a...
So I'm going to be running out of room here on the top is the short answer. So that's a solo-only game. Another solo-only game, or primarily solo, is Paperback Adventures, which I would have said is the closest experience you're going to get to Slay the Spire in a board game until they made Slay the Spire a board game.
Right.
So I have to revoke that. Underflowing Skies is another solo-only game. Fun dice puzzle. Aliens are attacking or defending the city. And then I've got my LCG, so Arkham the Horror card game, which right now I just have the base set for that, but intend at some point to get another campaign and investigator expansion. And then I've got Lord of the Rings card game stuff that isn't overflowing into that other box we saw earlier. And I primarily, at least right now in my life, those are solo games, but I also do like playing those 2-player as well.
Wow.
And I think that pretty much covers it.
I give your organization a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Games, a 10 out of 10.
Yes, there's some good ones here. And it's nice to do this and have to talk about all of them and then get to have a day of gaming. Instead of... It always pains me when we do a review or something and I have to set the whole game up and take all these pictures and just put the game away. It's oh. But, hopefully this was somewhat interesting. Little window into my game collection someday, if I find myself at Daniel's house far away, we'll maybe do a similar thing for his. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm probably not going to put links to all the games we talked about in the description below because that sounds extremely tedious. So there are other videos you can check out on the channel. We've got a few of them suggested here, and we will see you in the next one.